Hi guys, Astrocast here. I'm just sitting outside and just been having a lot of thoughts. I've been having a chat to one of my really good friends, Hannah. But like I've been talking about some of these things for quite a while, and I thought, why not do a video? I know some of it might be controversial. Um, some people might not agree. Again, this is all my own thoughts and opinions. Um, Obviously, this video is for entertainment purposes. Not everything is facts. Um, but I do like to really research a lot of my information before I form an opinion and before I share it with others. So, I do a lot of critical thinking and investigating before I share things. But again, this is just for entertainment purposes and this is just my opinions. So, with that little disclaimer kind of out of the way, welcome back to my channel. I really hope you enjoy this video. Don't forget to do the thumbs up, liking the videos, and subscribing and commenting, sharing this, because it really helps grow my channel and I really, really appreciate it. Obviously, my channel is quite small at the moment, but I would just really love to be able to do this stuff more frequently for you guys. And for that to happen, I need you guys to get behind me and support me and show me what you like. And, I guess it's like an energy exchange, just being involved in this process with me so that I can make some more videos and share some more information and content. My Gemini side really, really enjoys sharing information. I feel like Sagittarius energy are more like the wise philosophy type people, whereas the Gemini, we get all the facts, we get all the information and the details, and then we share it. And so my Gemini side really loves to get information and I guess facts from other amazing people that have come up with like these really good ideas or have all this information, and I like to share it with everybody else. So without all being kind of said, today's video is a little bit different. It's going to be kind of like a brain dump, really casual. It's just going to be like a chat about kind of my thoughts and feelings and beliefs on like what's happening. There's been some big energy shifts, and I've been talking about this stuff so much, but like it's getting to the point where we're getting really close to April and the eclipse is coming up, and this energy is just getting heavier and heavier and heavier. And I just kind of wanted to remind everybody that we are such amazing spiritual beings. We've got our own divine energy and wisdom, and I really want to encourage people to connect to their spirit guides, their spirit team, and connect to their higher self, because I really think this year is really about adapting and pivoting. And I feel like every situation that we're focusing our attention on, whether it's WAR situations, like they're harvesting our energy because we're collectively focusing, talking, sharing about certain situations. And don't get me wrong, there are a lot of situations and events where we do need to be talking and sharing events, but I just feel like because there's so many different conflicts and challenges happening right now, so much heaviness, that we are literally giving away so much of our energy for them to harvest. By them, I mean the collective, the people in power. If you are like-minded like me, you will probably believe that everything is like energy, and we're probably in a bit of a spiritual conflict right now between like the light and the dark, good and evil, whatever you want to kind of call it. But so many more people are awakening now. And I think the situations and events of the pandemic in 2020 and 2019 really shook and woke up a lot of people. And I feel like we've kind of had ongoing events, a few before that, and like even bigger events continuing even now. And I don't think humanity or the collective has had a bit of a break. Like it's just been a lot of challenges. So my brain dump at the moment is just going to talking about, facts and just, I shouldn't say like facts, but like my opinions. I mean, like my opinions and things that I've kind of seen online and researched. Please always do your own research and double check everything, because we're all only human. Sometimes things are wrong, but mostly this is just like my beliefs. Sorry, not facts. So we do know that there are a few things happening if you following astrology. I am a more traditional astrologer, but I use like Western astrology. I use whole sign house systems. And yeah, I love to use the traditional and modern planets when I'm working with that. But there's some really big stuff happening with the astrology. Now, we've had the North Node in Aries for like a few months now. And I feel like that has really kind of escalated things in regards to conflict, challenges, WAR, independence, fighting for, who we are, and bringing out that warrior type energy in all of us. And then we've had the South Node that's in Libra, and I feel like that's really been about relationships between like countries, relationships between people, contracts, like legal contracts, especially between like different nations and countries. Like there's just been so much happening. There's also been a lot happening behind the scenes for like BRICS and like new economy and currencies happening. There's a lot shifting, a lot happening. Our economy is definitely going through quite a lot. I mean, we've had so much turmoil in Britain with the Queen passing, and now we've got obviously stuff happening with King Charles being really unwell, and then, stuff happening with Kate Middleton as well. There's a lot of instability within the royal family, which impacts Australia and other countries that are linked to that. There's been the Pluto return in the second house for, I should say in Capricorn in the second house for the US, for America. And we've just seen the US dollar kind of just go down. We've seen so many big changes. They've also, got a lot of stuff happening right now with voting and, getting a new president. So there's quite a lot of instability there. Obviously, Trump trying to be president again, so much instability and chaos there. And then, in Australia, we've had a lot going on with our politicians and politics as well. We've also had like a lot of voting on, I guess, like Indigenous people, Indigenous nations, and parliaments and our lands in Australia. So with that all being said, like that's a bit of a breakdown on everything that's happening. But that's everything that's been making this energy feel really hard. We've had so many different things happening, but with the astrology, we're not out of the woods yet. The biggest event, personally, that I was always keeping an eye on and that I was very interested in, and it's not necessarily a negative aspect or a positive aspect, there is a conjunction between the planet Uranus, which is an outer planet, and also Jupiter, which is another outer planet. They're more generational planets, not personal planets. But these two planets show a big energy shift for the collective, for humanity, for, global society. And now Uranus is about shocks. It's about sudden changes. It's about chaos, unpredictability, surprises. It's about lightning, electricity. It's about genius ideas. It's about inventions. It's about medicine. It's about labs. It's about the internet and AI. All that kind of stuff is like Uranian in themed. It's very quirky, very rebellious, very unique. It usually links to the 11th house in astrology and to Aquarius because it is the modern ruler of Aquarius. And then you've got Jupiter. Now, Jupiter is usually about luck, blessings, abundance. It's about wisdom. It's about like mentoring and teachers. It can be about traveling. It can be about gifts. It's about joy and humor. It's usually ruled by Sagittarius and the 9th house. But in traditional astrology, Jupiter actually rules Pisces as well. And Pisces is about spirituality. It's about dreams. It's about sleep. It's about institutions. So like hospitals, prisons, I guess like any kind of like camps and groups of people. It's about charity. It's about compassion. It's about creativity. It is about illusions and delusions. All of those kind of Pisces and 12th house themes. The self-undoing. It can be about hidden enemies, all of that type of energy. So with those two planets meeting up, making a conjunction is basically when the two energies of those planets merge and they become kind of one. So with Jupiter expanding and growing, because that's traits of Jupiter as well, expansion and growth. And then you've got Uranus's like shocks, surprises, and instability and chaos. Jupiter is going to expand that, and those two energies are going to emerge. So it's very shocking, very large scale, like chaos happening, right? And this is in Taurus. Now, Taurus is about, it's about agriculture. It's about gardening. It's about like food and water and resources. So resources like gold and oil, anything from the earth. It's an earth sign. It usually rules the second house in astrology, and it's usually ruled by Venus. So Venus can tell us a little bit about all these things that are happening in this Taurian house as well, because it's the ruler. But Taurus is also about banking and the economy, and like, yeah, those sorts of things and what we value. So I really feel like this chaos, this large, expanded amount of chaos that we're having in Taurus is really going to be some big shocking events around. Firstly, I think it's going to be around food. And what I mean by that is I feel like there probably is going to be some kind of issues with trade. What I mean by that is like a lot of food gets imported, exported through boats and planes and comes from different countries and different states. Even in Australia, like we ship things around and stuff. I feel like there's going to be an issue with trade, and especially like the food and resource side of things. So like food. So that could mean a shortage. It could mean we're having to pay Jupiter, expansion, Taurus, second house, money. We are having to pay more for items. Do we value them enough to pay that much? It's going to be really difficult. Jupiter's also going to ask us to be wise and be smart about what we're spending our money on. And yeah, I think that Uranus energy is just going to keep bringing shocks and surprises, and it's going to be things that we just really didn't see coming. Like we just really didn't think was going to happen. Or the way that it happens, we really just didn't expect it to go down this way. So that's the first thing. And especially if you look at Australia's natal chart, this is happening in our Taurus second house, and it's right on top of our moon. Our moon is at like 22 degrees or something. So very close to this 20-degree conjunction of Uranus and Jupiter. Our moon rules our fourth house, home and family, with Australia's natal chart. So we can expect a lot of heightened, shocking emotions around money and food and resources. And this is going to link to our homes, our families, our lands, our ancestors. There's going to be something big that's going to come out around April 20th. April 20th, 2024. That's when this conjunction is going to be going down. Check your time zone, different places, locations. This might be happening at about different times, but generally in Australia, 20th of April is when that's going to go down. Now, some other things that we really need to keep in mind as well is that we do have eclipse season coming up. We do have a Libra eclipse coming up at 5 degrees or close to 5 degrees. That's going to be pretty pivotal as well. I feel like expect the unexpected with eclipse seasons. Eclipse seasons are typically like that Uranus energy where it's like, it's volatile, it's chaotic, you never know how it's going to play out, which is why a lot of astrologers usually recommend not doing too much around eclipses and eclipse season. Usually it's best to stay home, stay away from things, not go driving, not to be in certain situations that could be a little bit chaotic. It's best to just ride it out until that energy kind of calms down a little bit. So we've got that happening, right? And it's in Libra with our South Node. The South Node is releasing, it's excreting, it's like past life connections, it's like getting rid of stuff, right? The North Node's wanting more. The North Node's going after things, it's eating, it's growing. It's part of our destiny and our life purpose. It wants to get bigger and bigger and bigger, whereas the South Node wants to get smaller and smaller and smaller and reduce. So that's that, Aries, North Node, Libra, South Node type energy. So with this kind of South Node, Libra eclipse, 5th degree energy, I really feel like this is going to be a lot about relationships. I think we're going to see a lot, especially with celebrities and elites and people in power, divorces. I think we're going to see a lot of scandals. I think we're going to see a lot of people talking about their relationships, or a lot of information being shared about people's relationships. Yeah, like a lot of cheating, a lot of trauma and situations like that being shared. I really also think that we might hear more about the SEX rings and like a lot more about that, which we've already kind of known about and been hearing about for a while. But I think, especially because we have that Scorpio full moon coming up as well, and like new moons as well, this energy, I believe, I'll put it in the information below, but I think we've got like another Scorpio, almost like not an eclipse, but like, yeah, another big Scorpio type energy with like a full moon or a new moon coming up. And I feel like that's going to be like that catapult for like the trauma, the SEX stuff, the criminal side of things. And I think we're going to hear a lot about that kind of stuff in the news. But I also think this is going to be really big for the billionaires and people that have large amounts of money. I think we're going to find out a lot of truths being revealed about them. I think we're going to see a lot of contracts between countries and nations being renegotiated or ended and changed, more of the BRIC alliances. More, I think Australia is going to form a new currency with some other countries somewhere in Asia, possibly. I think they're going to align and do some stuff there. And that could be like that April type energy as well, because it's to do with our lands and money and stuff. So there could be something going on there with currency. I forgot to mention water as well. Like when I was talking about the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction in Taurus, we might have some changes and some stuff going on with water or water quality and pollution and stuff like that as well. Mostly because of that conjunction in Taurus, but also because we have Pluto in the very early degrees of Aquarius. So issues with like planes and water and poison, air quality, water quality, a lot of negative stuff there possibly. As well as like AI and expansion there with AI. I think we're going to hear a lot about AI this year, and it's going to continue because Pluto's got that 20-year cycle in Aquarius. So technology, AI, a lot of big things coming there, and like transport, especially flying transport, really big. But I'll do more on that in another video at another time. So yeah, we've got the Libra eclipse, we've got that Scorpio energy coming up, Jupiter-Uranus conjunction. We've also got Saturn in Pisces, which has been pretty difficult. And this is like a 3-year transit. And I think we're about a year into it now, coming close to a year, maybe a year and a half. So we've still got a little while left of that energy. And that can show restrictions with like religion, spirituality, a lot of people having trouble with like sleeping collectively and dreams. A lot of people needing charity and support. And I think with all the WARs and conflicts and a lot of that areas north node, that it's not surprising that we are needing to be more charitable and needing more support in those areas. So I think that's really important to kind of keep in mind. And it's kind of another thing that my brain's just kind of dumping on, especially when it comes to water and the ocean and issues, because Saturn can link to like fears and restrictions, hard work. It links to like being compact and like metals. So like I feel like we're going to hear a lot more about the ocean and things in the oceans, like boats, a lot more about marine life, a lot of stuff coming out there as well. So that's something to kind of keep an eye on and keep in the back of our minds over like this year in 2025. Keep that in mind. And like I will do more separate videos, but obviously my brain dump is also going to like Pluto and Aquarius, with I feel like civil unrest and protests, not bad protests or anything like that, but like I just feel like in some way, whether it's online or in whatever way we can, people will be protesting certain events. And I feel this really strongly coming up in like April time, and especially around that Uranus Jupiter conjunction, because Uranus rules that Aquarius, and we've got Pluto moving into the 0 degrees in Aquarius. Now, if you think back to 2020, right, and when the pandemic was happening, obviously that come out December 2019, right? Now, I've got here on my phone just for like dates to try and be more accurate. Okay. The Great Conjunction, what was known in astrology as the Great Conjunction in 2020, was Saturn and Jupiter meeting up in a conjunction. Now, this happened on the 21st of December 2020, obviously changed for your time zone and everything because the dates might be a bit different. And the next one will occur on the 4th of November 2040. And this was at a very pivotal point of like that 0 degrees in Aquarius. So that is something to really keep in mind. That was kind of the catalyst for the pandemic and certain things that happened. Then we also, if you look to another big aspect that happened in 2020, it was Pluto and Jupiter's conjunction. Now, Pluto is all about transformation, crisis. It's about trauma. It's about truths being revealed. It's about things that are like poisonous and toxic. It can be about criminal behavior and stuff like that as well, and death. So there was a few conjunctions between this planet, because obviously planets retrograde backwards and then they move forward again. But the first conjunction happened on the 5th of April 2020. Then the second one happened on the June 30th, 2020. And then the last one of Jupiter and Pluto was November 12th, 2020. Again, check your time zones, figure it out. But they linked pretty well with a lot of lockdowns that happened globally and worldwide, and a lot of big dates for when, people were having protests, or when they were talking about, vaccines, and they were talking about like cures and how to fix this and what to do, and staying at home and staying safe, and massive amounts of death. Like those were very key dates for like lockdowns worldwide, globally. Um, and so it's really interesting that Jupiter energy of Jupiter and Saturn in Aquarius at that 0 degree point, which is now where Pluto has transited to, where Pluto is sitting at and activating, that we've got more heavy energy coming up. And I'm just suspicious that we might have some more restrictions or some lock happening and coming up. I don't know, similar type of energy happening this year. Not the exact same, but that Jupiter Uranus energy, and then Pluto at that 0 degree point activating that. Could we see similar things, similar stuff happening? Potentially. I hope not. I really hope not, but potentially. And then, yeah, that Pluto and Jupiter conjunctions that were happening in 2020, they were pretty much in Capricorn. And I feel like that's when we had the big shift of like those authoritarian figures, the elite, those people in power, governments. We had a lot of shifts, and we had a lot of people protesting and being really frustrated with those people that hold power in our structures, in our institutions. There's just so much of that energy that was going on in 2020. So it's just really interesting that all kind of played out. And Pluto was in Capricorn through that whole time. It's only just moved into Aquarius this year. So it's only been there for like a month or two. So yeah, there's a lot of energy going on there. So that's kind of my brain dump. Like they're the things that I would be kind of keeping an eye on. And I'll try and link specific exact dates as best as I can and as accurate as I can in the descriptions below, in the little description box. So please check that out. And do your own research and your own fact checking, because as I said, I'm only human. Sometimes we make mistakes, or, aren't always 100% accurate. But I believe that the information I've shared is as accurate as I can have it, but it's all based around my thoughts and opinions. So yeah, the astrology is looking pretty intense. So let me know what you think about all of this, and thanks for hanging around. I definitely look forward to talking with you more in DMs or in the comments below. Until then, please like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.